I changed my final expense script to start out going, "Hey Jesse, what's up, man? John here for our appointment. So guess you need some insurance, huh?" Because that's who I am as a person. I'm so simple, and I'm like, why are we getting all like weird and technical? I guess you need some insurance. And dude, people started saying yes. I was like, oh, well, that was an easy in. What up, y'all? John Wetmore back with another episode of the Insurance Insiders podcast. Got Jesse Wagner here. My understanding is 24 years old, out of Denver. Ty, who we had on recently, referred him over, worked with him. If my numbers on my notes are right here, $443K paid in 2024, I assume that was?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Cool. And was it your first full year?
First full year.
Yes. Okay. So first full year in insurance. Not a bad start, bro.
Yeah, I figured it out finally.
So it didn't start out that fast?
No, So I started in November of 2023, towards the end of November.
Got it.
So
okay.
Coming into 2024. And I sucked for a long time. Yeah.
How long?
Probably 4.5 months.
Oh, I like stories like this. Cool. I didn't know that. I saw one note says you sold 62 policies in a month. That's impressive.
Yeah. That was August last year. So
okay. All right. So
that's
rough start and then figured it out, huh?
Yep.
What have you ever sold before? Anything?
No, had no sales experience or insurance experience coming into this.
Okay. What was the background? Like high school, college? Did you go college, I assume, right? Like there's not a lot of years.
Yeah, no college, straight out of high school, just working. So managed a car wash, did construction, project coordination, changed car windshields, nothing remotely close to what I'm doing right now.
Dang. I need a windshield change in one of my cars now, actually.
Yeah. I can refer you though.
Yeah. I love it. How'd you find sales, or did it find you?
Yeah, it kind of did. So, I was just, unhappy with where I was at, with the construction job, just capped out in income, capped out in growth. Yeah. And I started looking into other things, and I was leaning towards real estate. Everyone's always saying you can make a lot of money in real estate.
Sure.
So I reached out to one of my buddies who does real estate, asking if I should get my license, go wholesale houses.
Yeah.
And he actually said, "Don't do real estate. You should talk to my cousin, Ty Cook."
No way.
Yeah. So that's how I met Ty. Went in and met Ty in Easton, and then the rest was history.
Makes sense. I've known Ty a little bit, but we're not well. I learned more about his story when we talked, certainly. Easton, him and I go way back. We got some history. So did you suck more or less than Easton at the beginning?
I don't know. We might be tied.
Similar story. I love it, dude.
Yeah.
I love it. How bad was it? I want to hear.
So, I guess before we jump into that, my mindset coming in was I see Ty and Easton making all this money.
Sure.
I have no experience, no skill set. So I'm like, if I look at their schedule and, break down what they do every day and try and do, 10, 15, 20, 50% more than what they do every day, there's no way I'll make at least half of what they do. So
good angle. That's my kind of angle.
Yeah. So, yeah.
What were you trying to make? What was the goal? Because I know what Easton sold, and I learned what Ty. What were you trying to hit? I
told Ty the first week, dude, I want to make $100,000. I've never made six figures or close to it ever in my life.
Dope.
So I just broke it down, and then started being the first guy in the office, last one to leave, 6-7 days a week. Buying as many leads as I could. But the first 4 months were brutal. There was a time frame where in December I went 0 for over 80 presentations while, working 7 days a week. Yeah. So
Easton didn't do that bad.
Yeah.
In my head, I feel like his was 1 for 40. That's the way I tell the story. And I always say the one canceled before he got home. I don't know how exactly accurate it is, but I know it's in the ballpark.
Yeah. Oh, it was 80, bad.
83? Over 83?
Over 80.
Okay.
Yeah, I told Ty and Ethan at 80, and they're like, okay, you got to stop counting. Maybe that's messing you up. And it just kept happening. So I was trying.
Craziness.
numbers.
Do you,
Yeah.
why at the time did you think it was? Do you remember? Can you go back to what you thought the problem was then?
So yeah, I mean, so I started in November, got everything down, just fully immersed myself. So I was like super confident going into December that I knew exactly what I was doing. And
Okay.
I don't think I was just quoting people, honestly. I wasn't.
I
I
know
wasn't.
looking back now, you know what was wrong, but do you remember what the feeling was at the time? Because you didn't probably at the time, you were probably like, I'm doing it. I assume, right?
Yeah, at the time, I mean, I was like, I have to get a lay down, like I'm
Yeah.
following the script. I'm buying leads every single week. I'm working more than everyone. I don't know why this is happening. So
Yeah. You couldn't figure it out. Did you not? Were you ever the guy that was like the lead suck? Or did you kind of know it was your skill set? Like where was your head at?
yeah, I just blame myself.
Good. That's
Okay,
good.
yeah, I didn't make anything happen. I just got to go out and buy another 1,000, 2,000 bucks in leads.
I
So
love it. I love it. Where's that come from? Have you always been that way? Or did you see them and you just changed quick? Or what's the deal?
yeah, I mean, I've tried like other business ventures in my past, and always knew that it took some money to make some money. So I was totally okay, spending it. I came in, even though I didn't make a lot of money in my past jobs, I was definitely good at saving. So I had a little
Got it.
safety net.
Okay.
So I was totally fine with just blowing it if it meant I could get more
I
reps
love it.
in and
Hell
figure
yeah.
it out.
Hell yeah. What do you think you spent on leads before you I don't know, what some people would say broke even, or which must be the case for you if you were selling zero. But it's like, what was that? Like, how much did you put in before it clicked, let's say?
Oh, I mean, from the beginning, Ty was like non-negotiable, 1,000 bucks a week. So
Yeah.
I just listened to him. I'd do 1,000, but there was weeks where I'm like, I'm not getting anything, so I'm going to do an extra 500 or 1,000. Or
Hell yeah.
there was a time where I was on a reoccurring order and I didn't know, and I accidentally spent like 3 or 4,000 on leads, and instead of just getting a refund, I just worked it, tried to figure it out. So,
I know some people out there that would have gone and tried to dispute the charge and all kinds of craziness. It's good, dude.
yeah.
It's good mindset to have, bro. Man, wild. If you're in the insurance space and trying to build an agency, or you're trying to break records in sales, just hit new levels, new heights, click the link below to apply to my consulting and coaching program that I have out there. I'm helping tons of people get to new levels, get to new income heights, help them build their teams, put systems in place, staffing stuff, recruiting processes, automations, and just teaching people how to get to a point where they're selling on their own pen, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. And if they're building a team, teaching how to have an effective structure to your insurance agency for the most profitability you can. There is an application process. I'm only looking to work with high-end people who really want to make big things happen. A couple recent clients that we've had in the coaching program. One dude as an individual went from selling $8 grand a month, barely getting by, about to quit the industry, found the book, hit me up direct, started a coaching program, went to 35K his first month, has issued 150K in the last 90 days, and has changed the trajectory of his career. Working with another agency builder, very first month went from doing 800 grand a month to almost 1.1 million. We added 10 or 15% production in 30 days and continue to work on things there. So if you're interested, click the link, apply, and if you're a fit, I'll reach out. Were you working at the time, or you dove in full time with the savings?
Yeah, I just jumped right
You
in.
did. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. What did your family or close friends or whatever, people around you, what kind of, was there any noise there or feedback, or what was that like?
So family was honestly really supportive.
Okay.
Girlfriend was really supportive. Girlfriend's parents kind of 50-50. But that's because, we were living on our own, doing stuff like that. So
Yeah, I get it.
yeah,
Everybody's different. I didn't really get
yeah,
too much crap either, but some people get they deal with stuff.
yeah,
But I've learned, man, if you're the type of person that doesn't allow that noise in your life, which sounds like you are, people won't bring you as much noise.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's if you're not going to accept the negativity and they know who you are and you're going to figure it out, most people are like, I ain't going to tell him that. He's going to figure it out.
yeah.
So some of you watching are getting the noise because you have a reputation for not figuring it out, and they're trying to help you.
Yeah,
It's
100%. I mean, when I was going through that 0 for 80 phase, that was pretty down mentally, just emotionally with everything going on. And I remember, I was starting to get some input from, girlfriend's family, and I was like, just cut it off. I'm like, I'm not talking to you until I figure this out. Just cold turkey. Yeah.
Did you ever think about quitting?
No, no.
Really?
This was
Okay.
an A, B. I got to the point where I only had $1,000 left and told my girlfriend we got to move into my dad's basement. If I don't figure this out within the next 2 weeks, I can't pay rent. So
Damn.
yeah.
What'd she say?
She said, figure it out. Not an option yet.
Yeah. I love it. Y'all still together?
Yep.
There you go. I bet she's proud, dude. I love it. Is she in the space or no? She do something else?
So she actually did get licensed. She worked with us for a little bit. And then when Ty started growing so much, she actually became like an assistant doing all the onboarding, contracting, doing in the back end stuff. But she's not with us anymore. She worked with us for, half of last year. Yeah. That's
dope. I love it. So what clicked, dude? Was there like a moment? So obviously you're back against the wall. I don't know if that changed anything, but how did it go from over 80 something to like, hell, 62 policies a month? What was the, transition, time frame, stuff like that?
So, during that 0-for-80, of course, I got a lot of reps and a lot of experience. But the biggest thing that I messed up during that time was, not asking for as much help. So at the end of that 4-week cycle, I was just completely cooked with everything. And I went to Easton and told him, and he's like, well, dude, let me listen to, 2 of your presentations. Yeah. He listened to 2 of them, told me to tweak 2 just minor things. And then the next day I sold like 3 or 4 policies. And just went up from there.
I love it. That's funny. I remember doing the same thing with Easton.
Yeah.
I love
that changed it all.
Yeah. It's cool watching the trickle down effect of that. That was probably, I don't remember what year he started, but 17 or 18, if I had to guess, maybe somewhere in that range is probably when I had that, when I had him send me some, and he was smart enough to send it to me, and he goes, now I know why you made me record it. That was trash. And we got on and talked about it. What were the couple things that he had you tweak?
So the biggest thing was sending credentials up front. I wasn't sending a card or anything to help, build some credibility. And then just being like more authentic. I was kind of like a robot. I wasn't really human at all. Someone would tell me something really sad, like a family member just passed, and I'd be like, I'm so sorry anyways. And just move past it instead of, asking an additional question to build a little bit more rapport and just be, real with someone.
Yeah, that makes sense. I love it. It's like that active listening. It's learning that piece is super interesting, So let me ask you this. I assume, because I know them, were you getting on trainings during that time at least?
Oh, yeah. So when I first started, it was really just me and Ty in the office. We would have an 8 a.m. script training every day. And then when Easton was up from the Springs here, he would do a training at 1 p.m. with us, go over stuff, outside of work. I'm listening to podcasts on the way in at night, all sorts of stuff.
Why? I always find it intriguing. And I did this too, dude. Mm-hmm. It's like I look back on it and I'm like, why did I hear the training and not listen and do it my way? You know what I mean? It's like, I know they said to do credentials. It's not like that was earth-shattering news to you, I'm assuming.
Not at all.
Right? Why do you remember why you weren't doing it, or just like sloppiness? Or me it was sloppy. I was just like, trying to wing it, I guess. I don't really know. I was a train wreck at the beginning too.
Yeah. I think my goal is like, if I just show them numbers, it's a done deal. So that was my objective. Just like, let's get into numbers right away. Get your health. Okay. I'll let them coach you. And then the rest is history, but that wasn't the case. And it's definitely not the case. So
that is definitely not the case. But dude, you know how many, it's the most common thing, bro. I listened to a guy's yesterday that I'm working with. He's like, I got all these attributes. I know how to do all da. And he sends me his thing and I'm like, there's zero chance you're listening to training. And if you are, obviously you're not implementing it, because no one trains the way he did the presentation. No one on the planet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, dude, that fall into that. And it's like, I love that you were that way too. And I was. Most people are. There's very few people, as you know, that walk into this thing and kill it day one. Like, it sometimes happens.
Yeah.
But being willing to make those changes, and sometimes it's things that are uncomfortable. So I don't know if that was uncomfortable to you. It doesn't sound like it probably was, but for me, sometimes there were some uncomfortable things. I wouldn't ask the questions the right way. I'd be afraid to be like, "Oh, you got to pay." You know what I mean? We need your check, but like I was afraid to say some things in advance, and I'd try to like slide them in. Like, can I just whisper them in? Dig it, dude. So after that, were you just off to was that the month you sold all those policies or no? Like, were you off to the races from that point on? A couple small tweaks and that was it? Or is it still was it still figuring it out kind of?
Yeah, still figuring it out.
Okay.
It was probably like another month of figuring it out, but I was getting more consistent. And then
Sure.
March last year is where it just like all clicked. And just I kept the same schedule I had originally started. So
Sure.
I didn't cut back on work or anything. I got better at everything. It all clicked. And then, it just went up from there for sure in March.
Yeah. So like my concept, I don't know if you have it. I think we'll send you one anyway, but this like do more now, get better. Like that's my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, let me just do a bunch of it. And I know with time I'll get better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It seems like you have the same approach as let me get the reps in, let me go do a bunch of it. We'll get better along the way. And again, I think you learn to be more intentional as you go. What do you think was it just the consistency of it all that it just all started to click once you started seeing results? You were like, or did you get like a new level of intentional? Like once you started making a few sales, did you go like, oh, let me work on this? Like what was the progression to the consistency of it, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, the consistency was a huge thing for me. I mean, I definitely learned by doing, and I think the best way to teach what we do is by actually having someone do it. But after, just fully immersing myself in it for, 4 months, it's all I did, all I thought about, got easier. But I also kind of started to make it my own. Even though I had like no sales experience, it kind of became my own. Like I still follow the same process and structure, but it has my personality attached to it, which kind of started shining through and started working.
Can you give some examples of something you used to do robotic that now the way you might say it today? Curious. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but I can relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a couple of things for me when I speak. I'm like, dude, I do it. I'll give you an example of mine first, right? As you think. So like when I was selling final expense, for instance, this is just one example. When we were taught the script, it was like, assume that the reason that I'm here is because you fall into one of three buckets. Either you don't have enough, you want more for a legacy. It was some 3-step thing, right? And I don't because it didn't feel authentic to me the way I was trying to deliver it, right? And I literally, dude, I changed my final expense script to start out going like I come from field sales, so some of the things I'm going to say, but like when I got to the house, I'd be like, "Hey Jesse, what's up, man? John here for our appointment. So guess you need some insurance, huh?" Because that's who I am as a person. I'm so simple, and I'm like, why are we getting all like weird and technical? I guess you need some insurance. And dude, people started saying yes. I was like, oh, well, that was an easy in. And I certainly did more to go, but at the beginning, I was trying to go like, well, the top 3 reasons why clients fill out these forms are A, B's, and it didn't feel good to me for who I was. But I did the same thing. I just did it my way. You know what I mean? Like my personality, as you're saying. So I was just curious, dude, if you have anything, that stood out to you. And if not, it's all good.
No, I think honestly what you said is pretty spot on to how I felt about everything. I mean, I simplified everything and then I made it so I guess my posture is very laid back. I want it to feel like there's no pressure throughout the whole call. Like they're making the decision themselves. I'm not selling them.
Yeah.
So I'm very laid back throughout the whole call, but I pre-frame a lot of things to make it, a lot easier. So that was.
You want to get in? Can we get into some of that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll let you lead the way, dude. I'm curious, like the approach. And you start where you want. You want to start from the beginning. You want to start however you want to do it. I want some like guts of how you do this thing.
Okay. So just like ring.
Yeah. Hey. Hello.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
This is Jesse. I was just getting back to you about the life insurance request. We have your daughter as the beneficiary. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. I was just calling you to set up a time for a 10-minute call, unless you had a couple minutes to knock it out.
I love it. So simple. So I'm gonna do what most people get right now. It's like if I get what's the most common objection you get there at the beginning.
So
If I don't easily go, yeah, I'm good. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is jet. Not what's the biggest problem you see?
So if they say they're not available, and I mean,
Even rewind the initial when you like verify the date of birth.
yeah,
Right? Hey, this is Jesse. Call in about the form you filled out. Just need to verify your date of birth. What if they're like, who? What? Wasn't me. I'm not interested. No thanks. All the stuff, the noise right there. How do you address that part?
So, I mean, it just depends, like whether it's already got covered. I just confirm something else, and I'm like, oh, so you're just trying to compare rates or add additional?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't. I don't know what you're talking about. What is this?
Like, John, we got you in Texas, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So were you trying to cover final expenses and then just roll past
it? It's funny how people want to complicate it, dude.
Yeah.
Or start like defending it or get like combative a little bit. You know what I mean? I used to do that. I'd be like, nah, man, I'm looking at your signature here, bro, or whatever. Your IP, I'm looking at your favorite hobby right here. I can see it. It's tennis, right? And I would do it like I'd be frustrated when I did it. Versus all good.
Yeah. I mean, if you're trying to get someone to remember something they filled out, I mean, I don't want to argue on that. I want to confirm something else, kind of acknowledge what they said, and then just go past it.
Yeah. Love it. So. All right, cool. Now, do you get more of scheduling something, or I got a couple minutes right now? Where do they flow more to?
So when I'm on and like my tonality's right, I'm laid back, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, sure, we can just knock it out. If someone's going to schedule an appointment with me, like I can't talk right now, but I can clearly hear they're doing nothing. Maybe the TV's on in the background. I'll try and lower their guard by scheduling the appointment. Like, okay, what time you all settled in tonight? I'm going to be free at 5. Okay, I'll put you in my calendar for 5. And then, John, just so I'm prepared for this appointment, was this coverage for just yourself or another family member? And then I'll just keep going until they stop me. And most of the time they don't stop me unless they actually are busy.
I've never heard that one yet of all the people I've had on here yet. It's like to book it. Yeah. And then continue till they stop. It's like, that's crazy. I like that. That's slick.
Worst case, if they stop me, the appointment's booked and I like made them remember why it was important to them. So they're more likely to pick up. Otherwise, they're just, going to let me go and they'll start asking me questions like, oh yeah, I was trying to do this. Oh, okay. And then, how's your health? So
you just carry on.
Yep.
It's literally like just sideswiping the punch. It's like,
yeah.
And so many people get so caught up on it. It's like, all right, I'll call you then. Thanks. Look forward to helping you. And then, it's funny. I love it. Yeah. Hey, if y'all make another $100,000 just by using that one. Sheesh.
Yeah.
It's like it.
Well, it lowers their guard. They think that they're getting off the phone and then it's just going from there.
Yeah, that's funny. I used to do something that now reminds me of that, where like when people are like, all right, I got it taken care of. And I wanted to like go, oh, tell me. I used to be like, oh, what do you got? How much is it? How much do you pay a month? I used to go right in and then I tweaked it and I'm like, oh, got it. No problem, Jesse. Hey, do you mind if I put a few notes in the system so I don't keep calling you about the same thing? Yeah, sure. No problem. Hey, who do you have the coverage with? And they thought in their head, give me the notes, he'll stop calling me. And I'm like, I am going to stop calling you because I'm about to close you right now.
Yep.
I like it, dude. It's a little different angle on it, which I like a lot. All right, cool. So from there, if you're going through what other pre-frame things like that do you want to talk about? Like, let's say you keep me on the phone and you keep going, like if it goes ideally for you, let's kind of walk down that path.
So if they're like, yeah, man, I got a couple minutes, I'm just going to jump straight to their email. So John, your email is 123@gmail. Yep. Great. I'm just going to send you a copy of my state license card with my cell phone number. So you have that. And while I'm sending that over, John, it's really easy. We just go through a couple basic questions around your health, kind of what you were looking for, and we'll take a look, see if we can help you out.
Sounds good.
Yep. It's like, okay. And just so I'm on the same page, John, this coverage, is it just for yourself or another family member?
Maybe me and my wife, Steph, but me for sure. Maybe her.
Okay. All right, very good. Were you guys just trying to take care of final expenses, or is there something specific you were after?
No, just not leaving them behind with nothing.
Okay, that makes sense. Is your spouse, she there with you right now?
Uh-uh.
Okay. I guess, is this a conversation that she needs to be a part of, or you guys have already talked? She's okay with you handling everything?
Yeah, Steph don't mess with money, actually.
Okay, not a problem at all. Just want to make sure everyone's on the same page. So I got everything sent over to you, John. We can just jump right in from here. What is your date of birth?
Yeah.
And then I'm just going
you're
to
just going to, yeah. Cool.
Yep.
Anything major you're trying to accomplish? Can you give some things like, I asked this because I want to prevent this late? You know what I mean? Like, give some of those pre-frames, things like that. What are some things that you found work really well to keep the ball moving, maybe to get the need, to get them to make a decision? You know what I mean? Like, what are some things there that you found works really well for you?
So the spouse in the beginning of the call is huge. That's a big objection at the end. I got to talk to my husband. I got to talk to my wife. So I want to try and isolate that in the beginning. And then after I go through their health, I'm going to dive into, whether they have coverage right now, figure out if it's with work, if they've had it for a long time. Okay, I don't have any right now, but I had it in the past. Like, okay, how long ago was that? Was it just too expensive, or did it expire? Like, figure out why it's taken them 2 years to get a new plan. So that's going to help build some urgency. And then it just comes down to, putting them in a box kind of before I go into numbers with their situation, what they need for it, and then, what the beneficiary is able to do. So
I like how you do it. Some I see a lot of people they do like the figure it out thing first, and then they get into health. I like it reverse.
Yeah.
Then you know what you're dealing with.
Exactly. When I go through health first, I know exactly what carrier that they can, get placed with. When I get into their why, that's the most emotional part. So I want them to sit there before I go into showing them numbers. So that's on the top of their mind. I don't want them to get emotional, get off track because we're talking about their health, and then present.
Sure. Yeah, that's smart. I see a lot of people dive right in like, hey, nice curtains. So tell me why you filled this out. You know what I mean? It's like the transition is smoother, and more. You can arm yourself. It's like, hell, worst thing to do is go like, yeah, man, I need it so bad. You get their why, they throw up on you, and they're like, yeah, but I have like insulin. I'm losing my limb. I got a toe cut off. I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff.
Exactly.
It's like, whoopsie. It's hard to it's hard to undo that one.
Yeah, seriously. Like, everyone mess you up if they're, telling you like, oh yeah, that's not a problem. We can handle that. And you get into their health, and you're like, oh, we're not getting what you want. Yeah. So
smart. I love it. What up, insurance agents? If you're looking for a roadmap on how to win in this industry, check out the book I wrote about a year ago, Do More Now, Get Better Later. Check out the reviews here somewhere. My team's putting them on. I'm getting tons of great feedback about all the people it's helped. Appreciate those of y'all that have bought it. Appreciate all the reviews that are going out. If you're new to following me or the industry, check out the book and get it in your hands now. All right. So once you go there, getting into health, what are important things on like figuring out? Are you selling different stuff? Just final expense, mortgage? Do you sell other products too?
I
what's
do
your main?
Yeah, it's mainly final expense and mortgage.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about that. Like, we'll call it the why for argument's sake. Like, right, the like figuring out the need. Really, like, let's talk there. What are you looking for there? And if it's different for final expense and mortgage, fine. Explain them both. But what's important for you during that stage? Like, what did you used to miss, for instance, and now you're like, nah, I gotta keep digging here. I gotta, like, what are you looking for to know to proceed to numbers? Does that make sense?
So I feel like I usually can tell if someone's going to close or not in the why, depending on how good of a job I did. So the biggest thing is understanding their situation, and then also letting them know that I understand it, getting on the same page with everything before we move into numbers. When I was doing mortgage, when I first started, someone would tell me they owe $150,000 on the house, and then, they're in no financial place to afford $150,000 in coverage due to, age or health and their bills. but I'd still just go show them that instead of trying to figure out how I can, make a plan that fits their situation that'll help them.
Sure. That's the framing of it all. You know, like if you know they can't get ABC, 72 years old, had cancer 4 years ago with $100,000 mortgage, you better know that. Or figure it out before you start presenting.
100%. Or if I'm doing, like a payment protector, I'm just going to not explain why I would benefit them. I would just go and quote them. So like, when you pass away, Mary, I know you're looking for full coverage, but this will pay out 6 months of mortgage payments when you pass away. And then they're just completely confused why we're looking at that instead of full coverage.
Correct. Yeah. I used to mess that one up bad early on. And I'm like, when you set the stage first and get them to see it differently, and everybody has that ability. And there's plenty of, people doing it at a high level. So it's learning the intricate details,
100%.
Cool. Where do you, are you building, like, are you recruiting agents and doing that side too, or are you just selling right now?
Yeah. Towards the end of last year, I started diving into it. And then this year, that's been my main focus.
Okay. Where are you seeing most agents? What do they mess up there for you, the ones you're working with? And we'll start there. What do you see people mess up the most during that stage of the presentation?
Oh, like what they're messing up, like in their calls?
Like in the Yeah. Where do you see you're seeing the most people are messing up at these couple things? That the ones that you're dealing with specifically. You know what I mean? Like, what are you having to work on the most, identify the most, fix the most? Like, where are they typically going wrong? Because it's going to be everybody, dude. What you're seeing is probably going to, math out to the bigger audience too.
I think the biggest thing is following the script. So like my first priority when I came in was like, I need to have this script fully memorized like yesterday. And a lot of guys, they'll come in, they'll kind of look at it, read off of it, and then get off track. And it's like, you've been here for a month and you don't remember it, which is crazy. That's hurting you for sure.
Yeah.
Because that was the biggest thing that helped me. It's just like following those word tracks until like I knew fully what I was doing. Then I could start making it my own a little bit. So I think that's what's hurting a lot of guys. And then just plugging in, we have a system where we figured it out now. We have a lot of guys in the office that are really successful and starting to launch. But a lot of people don't treat it. They treat it like kind of like a job, except for none of us tells anyone when to be here. So that's one thing that's killing a lot of people too, is they come in at 10, leave at 2, or here 3 days a week. And then they come to us like, hey man, I'm out of money. Like, well, yeah, I mean, you're here 3 days a week, 4 days a week. So
yeah, it's wild, dude, how common that is. And then what I found, dude, is that agent also thinks it's something else. That's the piece that's interesting to me, is they think it's the lead, typically, where they're like, if I just had another product, or if Jesse would just, support me more. You hear funny things, man.
100%.
Where are you at team wise? How many agents are selling, and what kind of volume are you doing?
So last month was a big month. I onboarded about 20 guys. But we're doing, I think we finished last month at around 86. So
cool.
Shooting for BP mark. Yeah. Just getting everyone up and running, which has been taking a lot of my time. Yeah. So yeah, it's exciting.
It's a fun journey, dude. That stage,
It is. Yeah.
Teaching people to make money. And if you can get a craft for teaching that skill set, and tweaking people's stuff, dude, this thing can get deadly. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Teaching people how to make good money. What's the hardest part for you right now of the building side?
I think the influx of just like how many guys I had at one time. That definitely slowed down my sales last month.
Okay.
And then so I'm kind of in a weird phase where I saw Ty last year go through all the growing pains and everything. Sure. Ty had me to lean on as well. So I was up and running, selling, knew how to do everything. So all the guys he was bringing in, it wasn't just Ty. Right now, we're still in the office, but I don't have one guy that I can quite run with yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's one thing right now, but they're getting there. We got some guys
Yeah.
coming.
I love
Yeah.
it does come. It takes a minute.
Yeah.
Are you is that a struggle in the sense that, like, obviously it's not allowing you to grow as fast as possible? Or do you think it's a problem in the sense that other people don't have someone else to look at for, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I mean, we have great guys in the office that they're
Yeah.
surrounded by, but they still, I'm like their guy. So they're just like only coming to me, and like, I'm still, pushing them out to,
Yeah.
take resources from everyone who's producing at a high level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so it's a mix.
Yeah. Grady, Grady?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Grady always taught, like, being the best promoter
Hmm.
is really powerful.
Yeah.
And he always did such a good job of highlighting so many other people, whether they were direct to him or not. He was
Mm.
so good at going, look here. This one's winning too. Look here. He was so good at that. And then getting those wins in front of people, marketing and different channels and even conversations. And I was like, I like that.
Yeah.
So for me, I started, the reason I asked the question is I know a lot of people winning, and maybe they're not, your team you don't have a right hand on your team, but you
Hmm.
can, like, borrow someone promotion wise to fuel excitement with other people too. I mean, even all the things you want others to win. And just when I learned that process, I was like, oh dang, this can be powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, just keep at that, dude, and keep giving people insight into what it takes to win and direction, and it comes together, bro. As long as you keep at it, it's like the sale. It's the same concept as 0 for 80 selling, dude. I was 0 for 80 for sure in recruiting agents and getting them paid. I mean,
Yeah.
I was awful at that piece at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's a different skills. It's a similar skill set, but you think it's different. It's like learning how to communicate it. It's actually really easy too. It's just like clients. The simpler you keep it, the easier it is to get people started. But it took me a little while to figure out that it was the same. I love it, dude. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. Anything else you can think of that would be important to tell them that I didn't ask, or anything you just have in that mind that you're like, dude, I really want to share this. I think it would help. Something maybe I missed.
I mean, everything we went over was great. I think just the biggest thing that we preach here too is just in this business, the consistency is the biggest thing. So, and then trying to outwork the guy that's winning. So if someone's new trying to start, or they're struggling, like if you're looking at the guy selling 30, 40 a month, like, are you outworking his schedule? I mean, you might not get results right away, but it'll happen.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. Well, it's been cool getting near you a little bit, learn your stories. Or anywhere, do you do anything on social or anything you want them to follow you, any of that kind of stuff? Because we can put it in here if you want.
Yeah, sure. They can follow me on Instagram. Shoot me a message if they need anything. Whatever.
What is it? What's your Instagram?
It is just first name, last name, _.
Okay. I'm gonna look you up right here. So Jesse, let's see, Jesse Wagner. There you are. Got it. Dope. Love it. Yeah, if y'all want to reach out, if you need anything, feel free to hit them up. We're going to be doing some stuff coming up where if I can help you in any way, answer questions for anybody watching, or he has any, if you just go to my website, johnwetmore.com, there's a little contact option. If you have any questions, I'm going to be doing some stuff like this where I'm taking guests and myself and like just answering people's questions, dude, for things that we don't think of that they have questions on. So appreciate your time, dude, and thanks for getting on and helping. If I can help you in any way, dude, let me know. Otherwise, tell everybody there I said what's up. You got a good crew around you, and a lot of cool people out there. Yeah, my man. Appreciate your time, dude. Go kill it.
Of course. Thanks, Sean. You too.
Later, man. See you. Hey, thanks for watching the latest episode. I appreciate you. If you will do me a favor, certainly like this video channel, subscribe to it. And if you wouldn't mind, whatever podcast network you listen to these on, if you wouldn't mind going and leaving a review, that will help me greatly get the word out to more and more people. Appreciate you.